Hey everybody, it's Noah back at again with the Zone podcast. Today I got Josh Whyles over here. Go ahead, introduce yourself to everybody, and tell us how you got into solar.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm Josh. I'm 37. I live in North Carolina. Um, Wife and two beautiful daughters, teenage girls. I've been in direct sales now for 12 years. My background before that, I was a city cop here in North Carolina, where I live. I was making no money. I was introduced to direct sales, got started part time, and it changed my life. I just recently got into solar, actually a little
Hmm.
over a year ago. I was selling life insurance virtually before that, and I was doing well. I was doing pretty good, um, and I didn't enjoy selling insurance. So a buddy of mine hit me up and introduced me to solar, and it's the best thing I ever done. I love it.
Yeah. What was your part time one that you started with while you were being a cop?
I was selling skincare.
Skincare?
Yeah,
Like, what was the environment for all this? Where was this at?
North Carolina. It was all I was here at home in North Carolina. It was
Yeah.
all virtual though. As
Okay,
far
that
as
was virtual as
yeah,
well.
all of the sales were virtual, over the phone, online.
Dang.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I asked you a question before we got on here, and I was like, wait, hold up, we gotta wait until I hop on to go ahead and ask you this question. But a lot of people that I've interviewed say that virtual is a very logistical sell. Do you agree with that?
What do you mean logistical exactly? That's kind of when my ears perked up. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, they're like instead of because like when it's door to door, right? And that's where the world I came from. I'm just now transferring over into virtual sales. Um, you knock the door, you kind of try to get a lot of rapport, everything like that. Ask them about their dogs, stuff like that. And the people that I've talked to, they're like, well, we don't really ask about the dog, stuff like that. It's more centered on how we're going to fix this issue, and the rapport building is not as big in virtual.
I mean, I it just depends on, I think rapport building is relative.
Mhm.
My standard of rapport building might be different than someone else's standard of rapport building.
Yeah.
I think that regardless of whether you're doing it in person or whether you're doing it over the phone or whether you're doing it virtual, you
Mhm.
have to have some level of rapport,
Yeah.
because in order to make the sale, right, it's based off of like and trust, right? Trust. In order
Mhm.
for me to trust you, I kind of sort of need to like you, but before I can like you, I have to be able to say I am like you.
Mhm.
So I have to establish some relatability. And I think if you do it the right way, if you have the right questions, even virtually like this, a good discovery can create that emotional connection.
Okay. So you've been asking the same questions, like, do you go through the method of like we can even go a little bit deep and technical if you want to. So
I'm the guest, bro. You tell
yeah,
me.
yeah. I
Yeah.
I kind of like to roll these a little bit laid back, just go ahead, have a conversation. So one of the biggest things in sales that because I actually struggle with, talking to people when I first got started, and everyone said, repeat back to what they just said to you, and then come back with a question to bring it back around, and then kind of move the conversation towards what you're, selling, anything like that. Um, on a technical basis, like, is that something you do, or you kind of don't think
Yeah.
about it much, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think reframing a question,
Mhm.
or reframing a statement back in the form of a question is always super good.
Mhm.
And I'm sure all of your viewers have had some level of sales training just
Yeah.
by listening to the show on a regular basis. And you guys all know leading questions, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think I do all of that stuff. Um, I
Mhm.
think that maybe my ears perked up in the very beginning when you said that a lot of people don't think that the virtual sale can be as emotional of a connection, and that would be the only thing that I disagree on, because whether I'm sitting in front of you at the dinner table,
Mhm.
or I'm leaning in on a Zoom like this,
Mhm.
you can still see my body language. You can still see my facial expressions. Um, I think we can still create a wonderful connection here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about even on the phone though?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's levels, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if obviously in person is hands down the best of the
Yeah.
best, belly to belly in person.
Hmm.
Um, I have got I have guys that say I won't leave their house without the deal. So it's like
Yeah.
if we're on Zoom, you could shut your laptop or walk away immediately. Phone
Mhm.
is like the lowest. Like if you had, in my opinion, levels, it'd be like in person,
Mhm.
virtual. That way, we're at least seeing each other, and then phone. But you can still crush it. I have guys that have sold deals over the phone without any type of visual at all. Um, yeah,
What?
you
Like,
can. I mean, it's doable.
yeah.
You have to have the right buyer. Obviously, you have to have the right buyer, but then too, energy's energy. People, voice inflections carry
Tone.
pauses in conversations. If you wanted to go technical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, even the tone and bringing it down, stuff like that. Because I know phone sales is really a lot of people like setting appointments and then bringing them to that virtual environment, just because it's better, right? There's levels to it.
yeah,
I'd like to switch gears a little bit and then kind of talk about, what an interesting customer interaction that you've had. What are some of the, customer interactions that come to your mind when you think of something that's pretty interesting?
Oh, pretty interesting. I had a guy come through and wanted solar, and he loved the price,
Mhm.
but for whatever reason, he did not want to um, have it connected to the grid at all, and
Hmm.
and it was so weird. And we ended up almost getting to the point to we were like, okay, maybe there's a way we could ink this deal. It was a large system. It was going to be super cool, super solid, right?
Mhm.
We really wanted to push it through, but it turns out the guy was an engineer, knew everything about engineering, everything about electrical engineering, and the place of the house he wanted to put the panels was a room addition to the south, so beautiful south facing roof. He had
Mhm.
built that room addition himself without any permits, without any zoning, no code, never had it inspected, and he was trying to figure out a way to get solar on it with a tier one installer without going through the city for permits. And
Mhm.
you just run into stuff like that.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
okay. Just like, man, so he was trying to get around the fact that,
road.
you
Yeah,
need the zone and everything like that. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I noticed like with even with virtual, like I don't know if you do you talk to a lot of door to door people that are in the industry?
yeah. I have door to door guys that are that I'm in my group that I work with.
Wow.
Also, so
So are they like, hey man, this guy's doing virtual, man. He's got it easy. Or what are their kind of attitudes towards it? I'm curious. I'm curious.
no, I mean, in a the dealer that I work with,
Mhm.
virtual is not uncommon.
Really?
Um, we're selling 20 to 30 deals a month virtually, usually in our group. So it's not uncommon, and I know several other groups. Like one of my top closers trainers in my group is they actually work virtually from Mexico. They're originally from Canada. They've never actually lived in the United States, and they're selling 10 to 15 deals a month.
Do
So
you, do you think the industry is moving towards virtual?
I think the world is moving towards virtual. I
Yeah.
think with I think with what happened in 2020 COVID, and you know I remember having to take my dog to the vet and dropping him off at the door, and then we would FaceTime with the vet from the car.
Wow.
So like I think the whole world is moving virtual.
Hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
the car that's in my driveway is I bought online through Carvana. They delivered it to my house.
Wow. What
Yeah.
the
I think the world's going virtual.
dang. Yeah, because my idea really was that like it might be a thing of like, when let's say Texas, for example, a lot of people in the solar industry would say it'd be like saturated just because there's roofers that come in and they always bundle it up, so it's always getting hit by hail and everyone's getting hit up by solar, and everyone's trying to go blitz Texas and everything like that. So my kind of thought was, hey, when the industry gets saturated like that, people go ahead, hop on the virtual, find the people who are really interested in their area, and then sell out to everybody in the United States and stuff.
That's right.
So that's what I was thinking. It was kind of pushing towards. But you're kind of right. Everything's pretty much going virtual. And when I started selling virtually, I was like, I had a moment in my car yesterday, and I was just like, man, I used to knock these doors, go sweat hard, like run, like walking. Sometimes I'd run to get myself up to be like, oh, let's go to the next door. But then I was like, dang, I'm like, I haven't driven my car in about a week and a half. Like I pay $45 a month for my car. Like it's just nuts. It's just nuts. And you said you've been doing this for 10 years, going that far?
Yeah. I've been in direct sales now for a decade, over a
Wow.
decade. Yeah.
Wow. So um even with that, like what car did you end up ordering online?
Bro, I just it was back in 2019. I bought a Buick Regal,
Okay.
just a four door car, 3,000 miles on it. So knew it
Dang.
would last.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So another thing on the topic of like virtual and everything like that, what are the tools that you use, like kind of like the tech that you use to help you be more efficient in your business?
Yeah. So other than my installer's software design studio, which is we use Aurora.
Mhm.
Um, that's about it. I mean, I use Calendly. I have a team website for my group that, when a new person gets started, they have a team website and they can go and collect bills. We run a training that teaches new affiliates how to go be good appointment setters. And they can, on that website, they can click on a Calendly and book an appointment with any of our trainers. There's a jot form where they can submit an electric bill and upload the notes and put the homeowner's information. And then,
Mhm.
the trainers show up and we, other than, the Calendly connects to Google Calendar. I mean,
Yeah.
I use a MacBook Pro. I mean,
Mhm.
that's in an iPhone. That's about it, bro.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then with that, like all the like the Calendly and stuff like that, and deal flow, like where do y'all's leads actually come from? Do you actually have to like get the leads for yourself, or are
Yeah.
they provided by Apricot? Like,
Nope. So it's all self gen
Mhm.
until you rank promote yourself to trainer, and
Mhm.
anybody can promote themselves to trainer after they've completed their training sales, and then they bring 10 self gens.
Mhm.
Um, and self gens can be appointment set or deals closed.
Mhm.
So um, it's pretty solid. I mean, here's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I think the best industry to be in for sales in general, especially virtual sales right now, is solar. Every homeowner, all the viewers that are watching right now,
Mhm.
everybody that watches this on the recording, every homeowner that if they can go solar, they will be solar in the next 10 years or so. No
Yeah.
doubt about it. Um, I think because of that, we have a unique model because anybody can get started, go through a quick little basic training, and become an appointment setter. And our appointment setters get 50% of the install commission. So um, that's how we get the lead flow. I came in, I learned solar as fast as I could. I did my training sales with my trainer. I ended up going solo, started, self-genning, and then after my 10, took a trainer's test, got promoted to trainer, and then now I split a lot of deals with the trainees that come in.
Okay. And then for setting appointments and getting lead flow, if you don't want to talk about it, it's totally fine. Where are your leads actually coming from?
The
Like,
majority the majority of them is coming from warm market recruits, warm market affiliates. So every person that lives in a home, and they
right,
either own that home or they know some people that own a home.
right,
And it's nothing to call up soccer mom Sally at the end of the cul-de-sac and say, hey, I'm super excited. I took a position with a solar company that, has a production guarantee. I'm excited. Um, you wouldn't believe how much money some of these homeowners are saving. Part of my training is to collect the utility bill and learn how to design these systems.
hmm,
It'd do me a solid favor if you'd send me over a copy of yours. I'm just coming up with that off the top of my head, but it's a simple, it's an easy conversation,
yeah, yeah,
right? Yeah. Hey, have you noticed how high our power bills have getting lately? I'm looking into solar to save some money on mine. You should look into it with me. That's an easy conversation. And if we can just get in direct sales, in my experience over the last decade or so, direct sales, man, it's about getting a large group of people doing a couple simple little things consistently.
right.
And the easiest thing I've ever seen in this industry is to teach people how to collect electric bills.
Nice, because like most people really struggle, especially in the knocking industry and getting actual. I had somebody tell me yesterday, the hardest thing about solar is not when you actually get in the home; it's collecting those energy bills, it's collecting those numbers, and getting those appointments. Everybody wants those appointments. That's why people are going to like age leads. They're doing ads. They're doing
Yeah.
stuff like that. And you're saying that you pretty much do none of those things, or you just
No,
go
I
to
mean,
the market.
I've got people in my group that I work with that are running ads. I've got some that
Mhm.
are, cold calling age leads. I had a book of business when I came over from insurance and from a decade, 11, almost 12 years of full-time direct sales experience. So I
Nice.
had a large warm market, a large list.
Hmm.
A brand new person, your 20 to 25-year-old, young college stud that comes out ready, eager, sees his friend, sees a guy online driving a Lambo, and he did it from one summer knocking doors in solar. That one story, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's tough,
Yeah.
like those guys. That's such a small demographic of people. You're looking for like the diamond in the rough, the one of the 1 percenter that's going to go out there and knock 100 doors a day, regardless, in the middle of the summer, to buy
Mhm.
that Lambo.
Yeah.
Um, I think I think when you can just, because solar is a soft sale, I think when you just kind of think about the network of people around you, it's
Mhm.
it everybody, everybody either owns a home or knows people that own a home. Get good at making friends, and you'll never run out of contacts.
Nice. Hmm. So bringing that back to when you were a cop, like, what was that first Were you looking online for opportunities, or
No,
why'd you move
no,
to the city?
I was so to supplement my income, I was working at a kickboxing gym.
Hmm.
And I was doing some fights, and I fought a guy from Canada up
Hmm.
in New York City, and
Hmm.
we made friends. And a couple months later, he called me up and introduced me to my first direct sales opportunity.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then from there, you were like, okay, cool. This is pretty cool. And you had like the virtual side, and you were like, hey, I can just do this right over here.
Yeah,
Um,
and
yeah.
I started, after that was in December of 2011 when I got started,
Hmm.
and I think by August or September of 2012, less than a year, I
Hmm.
was I was making way more money part time than I was full time as a cop. So I quit. I just quit my police job and went full time working for myself. And yeah, I've been in sales ever since.
Nice, nice. Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like you've just built that long term like upscale, and you just have all those people that you've already been able to hit from your warm market. You definitely have a very interesting experience because a lot of people that I know, they're either talking about let's buy some H leads, let's do some ads. Let's knock a few doors. Let's pull my lead list from when I was knocking doors or when I did have stuff that I went through. And it seems like you're even coming from a place of abundance. So that's something really important. A lot of people, they don't have that. They can't get into that abundance mindset because they're always looking for the next deal. And it
Yeah.
seems like you're really like calm, laid back, not really like, I'm good. If you don't do this, totally fine.
Yeah.
But do you think that's really helped your sales
I think so.
yeah,
I think so for sure. I think that sales reps, especially brand new sales reps that get out there, they are just too eager to help. They're
yeah,
just a little too eager to serve. They're just a little, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
bro, it just a lot of times it comes across as commission breath,
yeah,
and homeowners can smell that.
yeah,
And it's like solar is the easiest thing I have ever sold in my life. Honestly, it is the most ethical thing I've ever sold. When it's done right, when it's sized correctly with the right utility and priced accordingly, hands down the best thing ever for a homeowner. And I think that when you stand on the truth, and if this, and if you know what you're doing, you can, right? Um, then I don't think there needs to be a super hard push or a super hard close. It's I think it's super easy. I think a lot of times it speaks for itself,
mhm.
and a homeowner will appreciate that soft, you know, I don't know, that more laid back uh, approach.
Yeah, because
Either
a lot.
that or maybe it will make them want it more. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, when you first get into it, you like you said, commission breast. So what would you suggest to those new reps that are coming up for them to do?
If you're brand new and you're just getting started, master setting appointments. Get, I mean, just get so good at setting appointments. Make it to where you can set appointments in your sleep. And whether that's knocking doors, whether that's generating online leads, whether that's cold calling through a list, whether that's going out making friends and navigating through a network.
Mhm.
Um, I think getting good at setting appointments is number one. Because what I see in this industry oftentimes, and first off, of all the things I've worked in, solar's the one industry where you can feel like you're working really hard and not get anything done.
Yeah,
And so what I see a lot of is guys will get started and they'll go out and they'll try to set a few appointments. They'll get smacked in the face, right? They'll get kicked in the teeth with rejection or whatever. And then they start to think, oh, well, shoot, I just need to learn some more. I need to go study some more. I need to go learn some more. And then
Mhm.
they'll spend time trying to learn solar and learn how to sell solar and stuff. And then they'll feel confident about doing that. And now they don't have anyone to sell to. So then they have to go back and still try to go figure out how to self gen. So I think immediately when you first start out, I think your main focus should be getting good at setting appointments. That's where you're gonna have the most growth when it comes to communication and personal interaction with the homeowner, is in the setting the appointment.
and even with setting the appointment, since you're not really you're passing it off, right? So you don't really need to be that person who's like, "Hey, I'm good." Like you can be like, "Yeah, I'm good because I have a base pay." Usually they're like they'll pay you at least a little bit of a base pay, something like that. Definitely for reps wanting to get into it. If anybody in the audience where you see this off a reel or you saw it somewhere, definitely go into like a good company. Like make sure that's a company that either pays you a base or something like that, even though there's a lot of people on the internet who can be like, dude, you need the full commission. You need the full commission. But like, if you go for that commission, yes, that is the end goal. But if you start there, then you'll never get to that full commission because you'll be riding that solar coaster. And so to all the people out there, like, go ahead, go for that that base, right? Like, go for the base. When I had my full commission, I switched to selling pest control and lawn care, and I had a base commission. I was like, dude, if you don't do this, I'm good. I'm good. I just want to make sure you have the best situation. I'm not here to sell you on this. I'm here to make sure you can make a decision. I'm here for is just helping you make a decision. If this is the worst thing for you and it doesn't fit in your budget, it's not something that you would want to do, totally fine. We can go navigate that. If it is, then let's make the decision. Like if you don't want to be out here spraying chemicals, you don't want to be out here doing this stuff, let's get you taken care of. So I definitely believe setting would be the best way for somebody to start.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then I think that setting really does give you that rhino skin that it takes
yeah,
to win. You know what I'm saying? To win
yeah,
in sales in general when you're commission only. I think setting really you have the most opportunity to grow,
mhm.
setting up those sales opportunities. Um, and I think that is a huge character builder in for later so that you don't come off with commission breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. And even if they're paying half of the deal, that'll sustain you throughout the week.
Bro, I have
Yeah.
appointment setters making six-figure income.
Yeah.
Part-time. I have part-time appointment setters making six-figure income.
Yeah.
Um, so it's the money's there in solar. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, with that, what can everybody kind of expect from you in the future? And then, um, actually, I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. So, with everybody, like with teams, right? You kind of oversee that team. What's the number one advice you give to somebody where we're moving from just the guy who guy that's just trying to get into sales to, hey, I've been in sales for a while. Now I got a team. I'm a little bit nervous about running this team, keeping everybody in line, so to speak.
Yeah.
What would you suggest to that guy? Like what's the number one advice you would tell him not to do? What should he
Uh,
not
you know what? Don't manage. That's what I would that would be the advice I would say. But instead of what not to do, what's more important to do is lead by example. My mentor said in the very beginning when I first got into sales, he said, Josh, if you lead by example, you can judge by results. And that's the only way that you're going to get results out of your guys is if you go out there and you lead by example. Speed of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader. So if you're brand new and maybe you just got bumped to a district manager or regional manager or co-regional or maybe you're just a supervisor looking over a group of guys overriding a group of knockers or whatever, I would do your best to make it to where your production is always the one that shines the most. Make sure you do the most. Your guys will always kind of follow suit with you. And if you're busy out producing and helping your guys produce, making sure your guys have what they need, they'll produce, bro. You won't have to have them fall in line.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So lead by example. One of the things that I've heard by some of the Taylor McCarthy, I watched him a lot when I was coming up. He said your setters are going to be and the people on your team are going to do about as half as what you do.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure if you're going to be setting 10 if you're going to be like closing 1 to 2 deals a day, like setting all these appointments, they're going to be setting half of what you're setting yourself or even doing yourself, and you got to lead by that example. Like when you go out and you go train somebody, or train them on the phone, whatever, you got to be setting. If you're going to set 10 appointments, expect them to set 5.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I'll go back to what can everybody expect from you in the future.
Well, man, I'm just getting started. We
Yeah.
are, our team's called the Sunny Badgers.
No.
We have a website, teamsunnybadgers.com. We're pumped. I'm loving solar. Super happy to have met you. I look forward to getting to know you better and seeing your following grow and seeing this community grow. And
Yeah.
we'll see. It's going to be
All
fun.
right. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and giving some insight to everybody out there. But yeah, other than that, I'll have all the description below. If you want to, if you're taking anybody on your team and somebody sees this, I'll put something down there. But other than that, I'll catch you guys later.
Bye, guys. See ya. Thanks, Noah.
All right.